Hey Brandon, Tanya had a question on your gift cards.
Yes, yes.
She said if there was gift cards, is it still tied to something so I could search them to see if they have been redeemed? That would be in the setup.
Okay, so what's happening is that we have a potential disconnect here, okay? And this is actually wonderful, but if you're okay with it, I'll show you the disconnect, okay? So ideally, watch this. Say I create through a setup PO a little thing that says gift card because it doesn't exist in the system. It's not currently a special line item, okay? I created this cool little thing, okay? It exists one time with an unlimited quantity, and then I could potentially sell it to tons and tons and tons of customers, okay? Now, she was asking, can I track that independently? Well, the problem is it's currently in one little placeholder, and then we're using it 50 million times, okay? So technically, it has no idea that it's actually attributed. So what we need to do is we virtually, as part of this little customer section, I would say that we actually need to create a new little subsection and say, okay, cool. If you're going to buy a gift card through an invoice, we need to create a new entity to say, have you been paid off? All of a sudden, it starts creating that little small entity. And so that's part of the future projects when we actually get into gift cards and stuff. What you would literally do is you would create a new little item, okay? Now, the gift card doesn't have to be tied to a customer. It could, or it could just be general. Like, imagine somebody who they quickly went through your thing, and they're like, oh, sweet, I forgot, Joe's birthday's tomorrow. I'm going to get him a $50 gift card or whatever. They get the gift card, and then they got it, but they gave it to Joe. Okay, we don't really care about that per se. We do want to know, one gift card got sold, it had $50 on it. How is that trackable? That's where we need this little subsection, if you will, that could actually track that to the ultimate level. And once we're actually tracking it to the ultimate level, we can help right here do all the automations. So that's where we're actually wanting to head with that. But it is currently on our future development list and waiting for a happy person to come and say, I'll throw 200 bucks at that, and I'll throw 200 bucks at that, and we'll wrap it into a project and we'll push it out the door. Okay? And then all of a sudden, all Adilas users will get that. And somebody else is going to say, oh my goodness, I want to be able to sell this right from online and be able to load and unload and da-da-da-da-da. Like, even the little school site we played with the other day, guess what people do for lunch cards? It's virtually a gift card in a way, right? The parent says, hey, here's 50 bucks, put this on my child's lunch card. So technically, in that case, instead of it being this abstract little thing, it's tied specifically to a student. As they go through the lunch line, guess what happens? Each day they're creating these teeny little things, and we're slowly chipping away at this little thing, which reduces our liability. And then the parent says, hey, guess what? I've got some more money. And we go like this, sweet, thank you. I'll do a deposit, and I'll load your gift card with more money, which actually ups my liability, and then I'll cycle it through that way. There's lots of people who use gift cards. It's not just retail, but a school lunch card system is very, very similar to that. So.
Well, yeah, Shannon worked at a chiropractor, and they had little punch cards where you buy the punch card, and then you come in and have service, and they would punch it on the punch card.
Correct. So anytime you do that and somebody prepays for something, you have to realize there's this magic little thing called a liability that has to also be tracked, okay? Technically, you're holding somebody's money saying, I imagine you might be back, but I'm kind of hoping you don't. But like literally, that's kind of what happens with punch cards and gift cards. People buy it because it's easy and it's fast, but technically, there's statistics that say that most of that doesn't get redeemed. And so it's a great way to kind of earn some money, but you have to hold it for a while, unless you have an expiration date, and then eventually you have to say, okay, guess what? Instead of tracking everything over here on the balance sheet, I do now need to record that as physical revenue that I got because it's really real, okay? And so that's how that kind of happens and works. It gets a little bit funky because you're technically, no physical money is it. You just left the normal fairways and greens, okay? You're in the roughs. You're just slightly, but it's a slightly different path. We basically just need to create an ulterior path so that it's automated.
Well, not only that, something ended up in your bank and you really didn't reduce your inventory, or you technically didn't sell anything, and you turn around a month later and you actually sell something and actually no money came in. So
Yeah.
I can see how
There's a bunch of
really
different little things that
disconnects.
happen, but basically what we do right now, once again, our two main goals, like the two main goals of Adilas are centralize the data, have everything hit a central location, okay? Boom, 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 boom. And can we record the details, okay? So on this customer cards and stuff, guess what? We're technically missing a little teeny piece right there, okay? It says, what's the card? What's its number? What's its value? Do I know if it's up or down? And has it being tracked in an individual level? So we centralize the data, okay? We're already getting a piece of this. Did you actually collect everything that you wanted to? So we don't have everything quite yet on that particular piece, okay? That's what's missing. If you can get those two pieces, the rest of it you can connect the dots, okay? But currently, centralize the data and then make sure you're catching what you're supposed to. We're only catching a portion of it, so guess what my accounting is going to be? A portion and or manual. I cannot automate that. I'm missing a piece, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. I've been having way too much fun with my marker.
I think it's great. Joe's got a quick logistical question for
Yes.
you. Are all data items, invoices, POs, deposits, etc., given separate item numbers as produced in linear time with no duplication of numbers across items?
Ideally, yes, okay? So I'm going to actually jump to a graphic, okay? So in the universe level, what we do is we say, cool, your new world. We were in bowling supplies, okay? Bowling supplies is a world. So within this, we have a number of different little database tables, okay? They need invoices and deposits and POs and expenses and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, okay? Well, what we do you want to know what we do right now or where we're headed?
Do right now.
Okay, what we do right now is we basically say like this, okay? Instead of saying this on the world level, we know that the PO line items and the invoice line items go nuts, okay? How many items did you get? How many things did you sell? Like that goes nuts. We make that world specific, okay? So your PO line items and your invoice line items are world specific. You get your own table, okay? These other guys right here, what we do currently is we put them at the universe level, okay? Global tables, but we create a world identifier. So if it goes into a global table, it says, global table, I'm bowling, okay? And what's my number? What's my max number? Oh, my next number is number 12, okay? Check, because somebody else might do it. Oh, cool, let's use 12, and we snag 12. Oh, my global from here, where am I at? So like, we potentially have a ton of different little things in these global tables other than the line items of some of these pieces, okay? Where it's headed eventually is instead of saying universe tables and little things, we're going to kind of make little miniature atlases all over the place, okay? So pretend that this is the little Atlas logo, okay? But there's going to be tons of them. Like, instead of saying one virtual universe and then having global tables and lots of worlds underneath that, we're going to say, let's make lots of universes. And then they'll all have their own little miniature piece, okay? Once again, it kind of goes like this. In your universe, how many pancakes do you want to stack on this plate? One? Okay, one whole universe with one little world, no problem. Oh, one whole universe. This would work great for franchises, okay? So watch this. Say I'm my own little mom and pop. I want my own universe with only one world in it. I'm controlling everything. I get my own tables. Does that make sense? Say I'm a franchise. Franchise, here's my universe, and I'm going to have how many different locations of, this isn't even locations, okay? This is how many worlds do I want to have inside of my universe. So say, for instance, we're going to use something like, we had lunch today at Panda Express, okay? Panda Express could technically be their own little universe with tons of different little miniature worlds for all their different little venues. The Logan, the Ogden, if they wanted to kind of do it that way. Basically what we need to do is we're going to be carving up the database a little bit to make all these other little places so that we can expand it. So everything doesn't have to be stacked like this and using global tables and identifiers. We want to say, oh, you want a plate with just a couple pancakes on it? No problem. Oh, you want a plate with just one pancake? No problem. Like, literally, this is where we would like to head with it. This would be kind of like a franchise or a big business. This is maybe a small little guy, or maybe one owner who has 2 different businesses, but that's his little world or universe. This is a mom and pop. Or maybe we do something like this. Oh, you don't even care and you're super small, and we got a whole bunch of little people that are teeny accounts. Let's create one world and we'll put a whole bunch of teeny accounts in it, okay? It's called load balancing. These guys here, they're going to be drawing a lot more bandwidth, a lot more usage. They might need their own server, okay? This guy here, he may or may not need his own server, depending. And so that's called load balancing. That's kind of futuristic. I don't know if that answers this question, but that is kind of where that's at. And by the way, Joe, I know you can hear me, but like, I love your questions. It's great. Like, if I don't have questions, I actually bore everybody half to death. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. But if I do have questions, I'd like to respond.
Right on,
Okay,
he
cool.
says.